last class we were at the last step of running our framework through command line. Actually, we tried this, right? Java hyphen jar, this thing. Okay, so this thing was failing. So there is another way to do that. I couldn't identify what exactly happening. See, it was able to locate testng jar, log4j jar, all other jars except Chrome driver jar. Okay, so there is another standard way of running testng tests. Okay, let us go with that way. That is simply giving this. Okay, wait, I will explain this. See, instead of calling the jar, we are giving this java hyphen cp. Cp means class path. We are adding lib folder and conf folder to class path, then directly calling testng class. Okay, since testng is the uh, testng runs or testng drives all our tests, so we are directly calling the testng class. So this testng is nothing but the name of the class. Okay, and which suite we want to run. Okay, conf testng.xml. Okay, where is that? If I go back here in this folder structure, okay, so this is our target, this is our assembly folder. Here inside conf we have put all the configuration files. One of them is testng.xml. Okay, it has the tests that we want to run. Okay, one is home page test, one is login page test. Then we have this log4j.xml also. So basically all configuration files are there. So when I am running directly from this folder. So I am running this command. If you see this, I am here. Target Selenium framework snapshot. So I am running in this folder, directly in this folder. There I am adding lib folder and conf folder to class path. This is the lib folder, this is the conf folder. In lib folder has all the jars that are needed, and conf folder has all the configuration files that are needed to run. So I have added them to class path. Okay, then so this is my testng class which I want to invoke. Here conf testng.xml. So inside conf folder there is testng.xml, right? Inside conf folder there is testng.xml. So basically this suite we want to run. If you remember, in testng we can run multiple suites. Okay, but for each suite we have to maintain a separate testng.xml. That means this testng.xml is one per suite. If you want to run multiple suites, you can have multiple testng.xmls and you can pass all of them here one after another, but let's not worry about it. We'll have only one suite run. So I'm putting this testng.xml. I'm directly calling this. So when I run this, it's simply okay. It started executing. It's opening browser. Okay, it runs all the tests. So it is running the test. So what are the tests that are being run? If I go to this testng.xml, okay, log4j.xml. So if I go here in this suite, okay, let's not worry about listeners now. Okay, so we'll explain them in this class. So I have added two tests. One test name is home page test, and it has this class. So home page test class, and another test name is login page test. It has login page test new. Okay, see, if I go here, source main Java tests, It has home page test, login page test, login page test new. Okay, in login in as part of home page test, I want to run only this, all the tests present in this home page test.java. As part of this login page test, I want to run only this login page test new. So I have added only this one. Earlier I added this one to login page tests. Okay, both login page test and login page test new. I added these two earlier, but I don't want this, so I just commented this out, or I can directly delete this. Okay, so now it runs all the tests present in login page test new class. So the same tests are being run over here. Okay, test execution is completed. So it said total test run 4, failures 0. Okay, what are the, let us count how the count is 4. Okay, if I go to this home page tests, it has, so before method, after method. Okay, and let us count how many test methods are there. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, 3 methods are there, but for the out of 3, the first method has enable equal to false. That means this test cannot be run. If you want to run this, you just make it enable equal to true. Okay, I am keeping enable equal to false only. For the second test, enable equal to true. That means this test will be run. And for third test, enable equal to false, this test will not be run. So out of these 3 tests, for only one test enable equal to true, so only this test will be run. So I am not enabling the other test because when I run it take much time. So I don't want it to take much time. Okay, so I just want the suit to be executed quickly. So from this class, there is only one test method that is being run. This is one sign in button test. Okay, and similarly in login page test new, here there is one before method, after method, data provider. If you count tests, one test, there is only one test. But if you see, this test will be run 3 times because this data provider to this test passes 3 values. Okay, if you remember, valid username, valid password, invalid username, invalid password, and valid username, invalid username, empty username. 3 sets it passes, right? So this test will be executed 3 times. So if we count, since this test is executed 3 times, though this is considered as 3 tests, and here there is only one test for which enable equal to true. 3 plus 1 equal to 4. That's why this count is shown as 4. Okay, out of these 4 tests, all are passed, no test failed. Okay, now if I go here, if you see, so this is my target folder. From inside this folder, I ran my tests. Right, this is target Selenium framework. Target Selenium framework. I ran this jar. Okay, so the output will be written to test-output folder. Okay, here there is index.html. So it gives all the details. Okay, see, it said 4 methods, 4 passed. See, home page tests, that is tests home page test. In it, there is sign in button test. If I go back to here, so this is my home page test. Okay, home page test, class name is home page test. Okay, class name is tests home page tests. So this is the package, test package. In this package, home page test class is there, and it has, as I told, it has only one test method for which enable equal to true. That is sign in button test. So this is shown over here, sign in button test. And since this is in green, this test is passed. Now, if I go to login page test new, this is the other class. It has only one class, that is email field validation test, but the same class got executed 3 times. See, email field validation test, this is the method. Okay, but this has got executed 3 times. See here, 1, 2, 3. This is the same method executed 3 times, but different parameters. Because since we are passing values to this test method using data provider, since we are passing 3 rows to data provider, the test is being run 3 times. One time it is taking invalid mail. Okay, second time it's taking empty mail and error message. Third time it's taking um, valid email and no error message. None means error message is not shown. Okay, so this is the output. So if I go over here, see, home page test, login page test. This is actually giving these two values. See, home page test is the name that we have given to suit in test.xml. The test name is home page test. Okay, see, this is that. It has only one class, right? Only one class. Similarly, second test is login page test. It has only one class. So it is giving all the details. Okay, now we'll move on to next important thing, that is listeners. Okay, so we'll go back to this class. See this before method, after method. Okay, see, since let us go to log file. How the log is being written. Okay. Mm, okay. So so in order to show the message or show messages properly in log file, what I am doing, I am writing logs using logger.info. Okay, so for that, see, since this is home page test class, in before method I am writing inside before method of home page test. Okay, inside before method of home page test. So this is to write to console and this is to write to log file. Similarly, here after method, inside after method of home page test. Okay, similarly over here I would like to write the same thing inside before method. Okay, so I'll keep the same thing over here. Okay, um, copy this. So this is before method. Okay, inside before method of login page test new. Okay, similarly inside after method of. Okay, now if I run this, okay, so instead of running from command line, I'll run this from here itself. Okay, it's the same thing. At the end, I'll run from command line. Okay, so this is my if I go over here, conf testng.xml, run as testng suite. So total 4 tests needs to be run. So, okay, test execution is completed. See, if you see this log, this console, first it is writing inside before method of home page tests. Okay, then it is writing inside after method of home page test. See, so home page test got executed from here to here. So all this is in red, that is not being written by us. So it is actually Chrome driver is writing, so this it's not in our hands, all these thing in red. Okay, just look at only the log messages that are in black. Similarly, inside before method of login page test new, inside after method of login page test new, inside before method of login page test new. Okay, because in this login page test new, the method present in that login page test new class, it is run 3 times, so it is repeated 3 times. So if I go to log file, where is log file present? Logs, we ran it at 9:16. Where is that? 17:21. Okay, so in log4j is not writing that. Okay, okay, let me clear this, rerun this. Okay, here I think this log4j need to be added to class path. How to do that? So when we run, so when we need to run in Eclipse, we need to go to build path, configure build path. Source, for some reason it's not being detected. So what I am removing this, adding it again. This is the conf folder, because so if you remember, so this see log4j no appenders could be found for logger. This is written only when this log4j.xml is not present in class path. Okay, what I did, I added it again to class path. I added this conf folder again to class path, so that all the files present in this conf folder are accessible to JVM while running. Run as. Now what I need to run? I need to run this testng.xml. Okay, now the that error is not thrown. Okay, test case execution is completed. If I go to this logs folder, now the log is written. Okay, so first it wrote inside before method of home page test, then inside after method of home page test. So this is one method. From inside before method login page test to inside after method, from here to here another method, here to here another method. So this is one method, this is second method, three, total 4 methods, test methods got run. Okay, now so in order to show this properly in log message, what I did, I went to each test class, there in before method and after method, I have added this log. Okay, either by sysout or logger info. Suppose if there are 100 test classes in your framework, then it's very tough to go to all the 100 test cases and add this before method and after method in each test cases. So in that cases, instead of going to each one of the 100 classes and adding this manually, and adding and giving the proper test name by a class name. Okay, so proper class name here. Okay, that is very tough task. So there is an alternative way to achieve it easily, that is using listeners. Okay, if you remember our listeners section, so what are listeners? Listeners are, they keep on listening for some events, okay, and as soon as the event occurs, they do some task, okay. So they are listeners. So the task can be sending email or writing something to log file, writing something to console, whatever you write there, okay. As soon as the event occurs, whatever you write there or whatever you write the event listener to do, you ask the event listener to do, it will execute those steps. So in my case, what I will do, uh, as soon as the test execution or a test method execution starts, I'll tell logger.info test execution started, and give the name of the test method, okay. Similarly, as soon as test execution is finished or test method execution is finished, I tell test method execution finished, and the method is, give the name of that method, okay. So like that. So this is called as custom logging, okay. So what is custom logging? Using event listeners, okay, we write custom messages to log files, okay, so that the log files are descriptive, okay. Descriptive means just by looking at the log files, okay, the message is present in the log file, we'll understand, okay, this thing happened, this thing happened, this thing happened, this is the test case that is being done, after that this is the test case that is being done, okay. So all that thing, custom logging, okay. So to achieve this, there are multiple listeners, but we are interested in three. First one is I test listener, second one is I suit listener, third one is I execution listener, okay. I test listener, I suit listener, I execution listener. So why these are starting with the name contains I represent, these are all interfaces, okay. These three are interfaces, that means they just define methods or they just declare methods and they don't have definition for that method. That means it has all the methods abstract. So when we want to make use of these interfaces, we need to implement these interfaces, okay. That means we need to implement all the unimplemented present in these interfaces, okay. For example, I test listener, okay. So basically I, in this here I already uh, created listener factory, okay, listener factory, but I will freshly create them again, new package. I'll name the package as listener factory 1, okay. So since listener factory is already there, I'm renaming it to listener factory 1, okay. Do finish, okay. Here I need to create a new class, and I name it testng test listener, okay. I'll name it like this, okay. And this test listener should implement I test listener interface, okay. Now see, as soon as I said implement I test listener, it is throwing some error. If I mouse over on it, it says add unimplemented methods, okay. That means this itest listener interface, this interface that we are going to implement, it has all these unimplemented methods. Okay, since our class is implementing this interface, it's mandatory that it implements all the unimplemented method present in that class. So it by default pulled out all the unimplemented methods and added into our class. Now we write our code. Okay, simple. Okay, there are multiple. Let's not worry about on finish, on start. Okay, on test failure, on test queued, on test start. Okay, on test failure, on test queued, on test start, on test success. Okay, so I am only interested in, you should not delete, but we have to keep them in, keep them. Okay, on test failure, what I want to do, I would like to, in case of test failure, see, just by looking at the method names you'll understand what this listener is doing. So this listener, okay, it listens for a test failure event. As soon as test failure event occurs, it simply does the code or the execute the code present in this method. So here in my case I just want to write it to console. How to write it? System out println um, test fail. Okay, and the name of the test is, see this I test result. So this by default this interface is passing us this argument to us. Okay, we need to make use of that argument. So this basically this I test result is an interface. Okay, this argument is nothing but object of this I test result uh, class. Okay, so what I'll do, just to make it readable or make it understandable, I'll rename the variable to, or object to, result. Okay, just I'm doing it. Okay, you can directly use arg without changing it to result. Okay, so here see, I'll do something dot get name. Okay, system out println test failed result dot get name. Okay, similarly what I'll do, I'll add this for other things too. Okay, for, so I'm keeping these methods empty. Okay, that means there is no code in it. Even if there is no code, it's equivalent to implementing them. Okay, that means they are not abstract. They are abstract only when this bracket is not there. When it is like this, okay, like this, then they are abstract. But when they are like this, they are not abstract. They are implemented. Their body is empty. Okay, here what I will do, test skipped. And what is the test that got skipped? This is the one, result dot get name. This result object has this get name method which returns the name of the method. Okay, similarly test started result dot get name, and test passed, so on test success, right? Okay, now I added this um, test listener. Okay, so in our test I don't need to add these things. Okay, I can simply comment them out. I don't want them now, because so before method, that means before any method execution is started. Okay, similarly after method, so after execution is completed, those things are achieved using this interface. So on test failure, on test keyboard, on test start, and test success. Okay, mm, okay, they are already there. Now I'll comment them from the other class too. Okay, that means when you implement listeners, you don't need these stuff in your before method and after method. Okay, okay, so apart from logging, just I'm just referring to logging here, I'm just referring to logging, right? So if there is something else, okay, suppose okay, I'll do it this way. Okay, this logging I am able to achieve it. This I can comment. I don't want this now. Okay, this additional 2 lines of code in every after method and before method in all the 100 tests. Now you can simply, you don't want it, because that can be achieved using this listener. Similarly, here also this thing is not needed. So if there is another piece of code like this, so I'm checking whether if there is any driver still not quit, I'm quitting it. Okay. So these steps are any other logic. If you are putting in after method, you can write any other logic, right, in your after method based on your requirement. You put them in your before method, after method. But just for logging, whatever you are, the piece of code that you are using for logging in these methods, I just moved them to listener. I just created one class. In that one class, I have added all the steps. Okay, so that means I don't need these logging steps in my other classes, because this is going to take care of that. See here, in this case, I need to explicitly give the name home page tests. Okay, and here I need to explicitly give the name to login page test new. Okay, I need to make sure this name is manually typed, whether it is typed manually, or whether it is given proper value or correct value. See, this class name should be given this, right? But here, this, since result.get name by default gives the value of the method that is being executed currently, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, this result.get name by default gives the name of the method that is being executed currently. Okay, now, okay, your test listener class is empty. Now it's time to make use of it in your, or time to call that, or time to tell your test engine that there is a test engine test listener. This is the name of the class. Use that. We need to tell that thing to test engine. How to tell that? Go to conf testng.xml, add this listener tag. Okay, okay, here. So listener factory one. So this is name of the package. Okay, listener factory one, and name of the class is testng test listener. Okay, just by adding this listener tag. Okay, now we are telling that, okay, this class has all the listeners, make use of it. Okay, now what I'll do, just to test failed, test started, to make the things look beautiful, what I'm doing, I'm adding this line also. Okay, see, the beauty is whatever you want to add, you just add it over here. You don't need to go and add it to all the 100 tests. Okay, now if I run this, run as test engine suite, see, that line got printed. By default it is written, see, test started, and what is, and name of the test is sign in button test, or this is test method. Okay, sign in button test. See, this is the sign in button test. Source main Java. If I go to test, home page test. Okay, so this is the test method. What is the test method? Sign in button test. So it printed that value over here. Okay, sign in button test. So it clearly said test started, sign in button test. Okay, then after passed, since the test is passed, it printed test passed, sign in button test. Suppose if it is failed, it prints test failed, sign in button test. Similarly for email validation test, test started. Okay, see this piece of code. Okay, see, test started. Whenever a test on test start event, okay, this piece of code gets executed. If we see here, so test started, this is test started, and result.get name, this gives the name of the method that is being run. Okay. Similarly, test passed. In case of passed, see test passed. What is the test that is being passed? Result.get name that gives sign in button test. And as soon as any new test method execution starts, this line also gets printed. Okay. Suppose if test fails for some reason, suppose in that case this line will get executed. Test failed, result.get name, and gives the name of the test that is failed. Okay. Suppose if I don't want the line to be like this, I want something like this. Suppose um, I just want this line. Suppose, okay, this is not clear. um, if I want this line, all that I need to do is just go and change that line in this single listener. You don't need to go and change in all the 100 tests. So if I change that, run this again, see now the line got changed to stars. So when this star is being printed, the star prints on test start. As soon as the test method execution starts, so it is printing that line. Then it also printed test started, and what is the test that is being started. See how beautiful this is. Okay, and all this is achieved by writing the simple class. Okay, simple class. See how many lines are there? Very few lines. Now, so if there are 100 tests, okay, and this code will get these lines will be written for all the 100 tests. And here in actual tests, I can simply ignore them in my before method and after method. Okay. And one more thing, here we are able to write in case of test failure, test skip. Okay, different messages. So in case of test pass, write this message. In case of test fail, write this message. In case of test skipped, write this message. But here there is no that provision. Okay, it simply there are only two values, before method and after method. That means before test method and after test method. So whatever you write, they get logged irrespective of whether the test method is passed, failed, or skipped. Okay, it just does thing. But here in this case, there are multiple options. Based on the test case result, you can write the custom message. So this is about test listener. So briefly, what a test listener can do, okay, among or it can write among, sorry, all the, so okay, among test methods. Okay, so that means, see, in our case there are 4 test methods, right? So they will get this test listener gets executed among those methods. That means, so since there are 4 methods overall, in if you combine all the test classes and all the tests, there are 4 test methods. Okay, so for each test method, this test listener will get executed. Okay, but whereas in case of suit listener has only 2 methods, just before the suit and after the suit. So if I go back to testng.xml, this complete thing is a suit. So this suit has one class over here, one class over here, and this class has 3 methods, this class has 1 method, total 4 methods. Okay, okay. So for we have used itest listener to listen events before and after each methods. But the suit listener, it's not among the test method, but it is among the suits. Okay, that means it gets executed once before the suit and after the suit. Okay, you will understand if I implement that. New class test ng suit listener. Okay, and it implements I suit listener. So now it throws add unimplemented method. See, it has on finish and on start. That means on finish of the suit, on start of the suit. Okay, what I'll do? Mm, I'll write this SYSO suit execution finished, and name of the suit get name, or just to make it readable, I'll change the variable name to suit, and suit dot get name. Okay, so it just gives the suit name here. Suit execution started. The name of the suit being this suit, and just to differentiate between the suits, what I'll do this time, I'll print this. I'll print big line. Okay, and next thing is I have, so it has only two methods, just on start and on finish. See, here I am using this listeners only for custom logging or just logging custom messages of our choice, but they can be used with something like this. So as soon as on finish suit execution is finished, what I can do, suppose sending out email with test results, I can do this, right? So basically, I just written a dummy thing. So basically, this there is a piece of code which will send email to all the target audience, attaching all the test results. You can do that here. So it's just not about logging. You can do whatever you want, or you can write test results to some other Excel file, or you can write test results to some text file. Okay, okay, then copy the text file and email to everyone. You can do all that stuff. So but for now, and just to make to keep things simple, or to make things understandable easily, I'm just putting this log messages. Okay, now your suit listener class is ready. All that you need to do is go to your testng.xml. Okay, tell the testng that there is one suit listener too. Suit listener class 2. Okay, in this list listener factory 1, so this is a listener factory 1 package, there is test engine suit listener that you just now a test engine takes care of running that. So if you see here, so I have not yet run after adding this suit listener here. So this is your suit file, that is testing.xml, where it is present Selenium framework conf testng.xml, right? Now I'll run this. If I go here, okay, see, it said suit execution started. Name of the suit is regression suit. Okay, where did we give that? If I go to this here, I said suit execution started. Suit dot get name. I just call this method. It by default return the name of the regression suit. name of the suit. So where is that name of suit mentioned in testng.xml? I named it as regression suit. It just returned that value. Okay. So with little piece of code. Okay. So suit execution started. So after that, the suit execution finished. Where is that? It is only present at the very end. See, suit execution finished. Regression suit. Before that, it has printed this big line also. This big line. This big line. Okay. It printed this big line. It said suit execution finished. Okay. Suit execution finished. Okay. And then it said sending out email with test results. So if you have actual code to send the email, it will send the email. That is as simple as that. So this is sending out email with test results. So very simple. So suit listeners has the methods to run before and after suit execution is completed. Okay. So if you see here, this complete thing is the suit. Okay. So just before starting executing this suit run, it will run before suit method. At the very end, it runs after suit method. But within the suit, there are multiple tests. Okay. So after each, before and after each test, and after in case of pass, in case of failure, in case of skip. So for that, your test in the test listener is there. Okay, that means among the test cases. Suit listener is among the suits. As I told, here in case we have only one suit, one testng.xml. You can have multiple testng.xmls. In here, when you actually run them, you can pass multiple values, multiple testng.xmls. That means multiple suits. In that case, whatever these methods that are present, they get, if there are three suits, suppose. So for each three suits, these methods are executed 3 times. Okay, one for each suit. On start, on finish for the first suit, then on start, on finish for the second suit, on start, on finish for the third suit. Okay. So there is execution listener, the last one. Okay, this is among the suits. Okay, whereas this I execution listener, this is for complete execution. Okay. So we'll create new class. Creating a new class. Okay. And I'll make it to implement I execution listener. So it has just two. On execution finish, before the first suit. Okay, here I'll write after the last suit. So this is self-explanatory. So this is our overall execution. So this on execution finish. Okay. After the last suit, before the first suit. Okay. So this execution listener, if there are 10 suits, suppose in your execution, if you are executing 10 suits one after another, this will execute this on execution start. This will execute before the first suit, and execution finish. execute after the last suit. That means this is not among the suit. This is for complete execution. Okay, like this. When you run it, they will be run after that. Since in our case there is only one test in the .xml, that is only one suit, you will not be able to identify the difference. Okay, but if you add multiple suit, multiple test in the .xml, you will see the difference. I When I explained you that uh, uh, this test listeners or listeners in testng, I explained this clearly. You can refer to those videos. Okay. Okay. So this is about our listeners. Okay. So basically we can do this thing. So we can use them for custom logging. That is writing custom log messages which are very descriptive, which have all the names with the lines separated between each thing. Okay, so that when we look at the log files, we'll be able to easily read through that and easily understand what happened step by step. So this is for custom logging. Second one is for custom reporting. Okay, for custom reporting, there is one listener, I reporter listener. Okay, for custom logging, there are three listeners. Okay, but for custom reporting, there is only one listener, I reporter listener. Okay, okay. So, so for these custom logging, these listeners, they execute before and after. Okay, based on whether that is a test listener or suit listener or execution listener. Whereas this custom reporting, this executes after your complete execution of your tests. That is, your complete all the tests are executed. Okay, results are generated. Now, so far we know that results are shown in the form of this index.html. This is default, and that folder will be found in test output. You'll have this index.html. You can simply write some code to go to this folder and copy this and email this html index.html file to all, so that when they open, they'll see like this. Okay, but if you want to write even more beautifully, okay, if you want to put that in excel file or any text file, or put it in a proper way and send, in that case you make use of this reporter listener interface. Okay, so thing is, by default xml and html reports are generated in test output folder. Okay, but if we want to generate custom reports, okay, like excel reports, etc., make use of I listener, I reporter listener. Okay, and write or generate results okay, generate results um, as per your requirement. Okay, generate results are just okay. Okay, so the fourth listener is that I am going to write now is new class I reporter test ng Okay, and I need to make it implement I reporter. Okay, so this the name of the listener itself is I reporter. Here I'll change it I reporter. So this is also an interface. Okay, so interface is nothing but a class with all abstract method that means just declared and no. If I go inside here, so okay, see this. So this is my I test engine listener. Okay, so this is I reporter. Okay, so this is my I reporter interface. Don't worry about this. This is the interface. So it has see just method declaration and it doesn't have body like this. So I cannot edit this, but it doesn't have this curly brackets over here. Then only it will become method. That means uh, if it has curly bracket, that means that is implemented. But since it doesn't have curly bracket, that means this is abstract method. It is just declared and it doesn't have the definition. Okay. So and this interface has only one method. So when I implemented this test-ng reporter listener, this iReporter interface, it will ask me to the unimplemented method present in it. So this was the only method which was present in it. Now it is asking me, see, it gave me brackets also, curly brackets. So that means it is asking me to implement this. So that means write something here of your choice. Okay. See, over here it is passing three parameters. Okay. One is a list of XML suite objects, list of iSuite objects, some string output directory. Okay, that means so this is all passed by testng. So testng is running test. Okay, now testng knows what are the XML suites, so it is passing those XML suites to me. Testng knows what are the suites. Testng knows what is the output directory. It is passing all the values to me. All that I need to do is use these objects, get value of your choice and print it or write somewhere or write it to excel whatever here. All you can do, all stuff that you can do, that has to be written within these brackets. Okay, so for that what I did, I actually this reporter listener, I have come up with some code. Okay, I'll directly copy paste it over here and we'll explain to you. First let me paste it over here. Okay, okay, here. So as I told, this iReporter, this listener, um, this listener, this is different from the other listeners. Okay, so the other listeners get executed among the methods or suites and execution before and after. But whereas a reporter, this is for since this is for reporting purpose. So reporting can be done only when you have test results. When will you have test results? When all the test execution is done. So your iReporter listener executes after complete execution is done or your execution is completed. Then when execution is completed, it has all the results ready. Now using those result objects, you pull the results and write in the form you want. Okay, okay, here this I suits, okay, this is the object. Okay, so this is object is passed to this method by testng. I'm making use of this object. Okay, suits, this since this is list of suits, for each suit I'm running a for each loop. That means for each suit, okay, I'm printing the suit name. Okay, now suit dot get results dot values. Okay, so so this basically dot get results gives us the map. Okay, okay, so just remember this piece of code. So if we do this dot get results, see it is returning a map of string, okay, and iSuit result, a map whose value is string, uh, so whose key is string, value is iSuit results. Okay, so I am storing that in this collection. So now in this collection I am running a for loop for each loop again. Okay, so here fast test 1 second. Okay, so let me run this, you'll understand. Okay, we'll come back to this class again. um, so I have created this test in the test listener. All that I need to do is go and add it in testng.xml. Not here. So this testng.xml. Okay, testng reporter listener. Okay, now I'll do run as testng suite. Okay, see, test case execution is completed. Okay, if you see over here, so it first started with suit execution. Okay, started. Then there are test started, test finished, test passed, test passed. Okay, all that stuff. At the end, suit execution finished. Okay, sending out email results. So your test results are ready. Okay, so see, it has already printed the values. Okay, after that, our report listener is called. Okay, see, if I go back to this test and the reporter listener. Okay, here see. Uh, So after everything, after complete execution, after the test results, okay, that means at by this time your test results might have got written to your test output folder, and all the index.html and the XML files, okay, got generated. After that, our reporter listener or custom reporter is being run. This piece of code is being run. Okay, so it first printed this line. Okay, it printed this line. So it printed the suit name. What is the name of the suit that is being run? Suit.get name, that is regression suit. So in that, the suit has multiple tests. Okay, if you go back here, so this testng.xml, see, suit has home page test, login page test. Okay, first it it printed the home page test. Okay, passed test methods equal to 1. So it has home page test method, only one method, and that was passed. Okay, it gave that count. Passed methods equal to 1. Okay, so sorry, this one is failed. See here, I'm calling this test context dot get failed tests, test context dot get passed tests, get all results dot size. Okay, so this should be failed test methods. Similarly, I can use skip test methods. So after that, there is second method, login, second test. Test name is login page test. See, this is login page test. Okay, and this login page test has three methods. Okay, and passed test methods are three. All the three methods are passed. Failed are zero. Okay. Similarly, over here I can write uh, skipped test context dot get. Okay, it prints skipped methods also. So now I just printed it to console. You can write that to Excel also. The same thing. See, whatever I'm printing over here, I can use this. So test name, okay, like this, something like this. Window Excel. Okay, I can give something like this. First, I can give suit name. Okay, so in whichever format I need to run, I can give this. I can give the suit name. Okay, I can use the suit name like this, like this. Here, name of the suit. Okay, then um, test name. Okay, um, number of tests passed. Failed, skipped. Okay, and I can print the counter here. Test name is, what is the test name? Home page test. Then pass test method 1 0 0. The second test is login page test. Okay, I can write this 3 0 0. Okay, so if there are pages, similarly, if there are multiple suits that you are running, the next thing will get repeated. Okay, suit name again like this, so I'm copying and pasting the same thing again. Okay, maybe it's in the second suit, the test names might be different. Okay, and their corresponding values, or you can maintain one sheet per suit like this. Okay, so for one suit, okay, this suppose this is regression suit, suppose this is smoke suit. Okay, you can maintain separate sheet like this. That is what called as custom reporting. So you are reporting according to your choice. You are customizing the report. You are writing a report of your choice. Okay, so for that you can use this listener, iReporter listener interface. Okay, hope you understand this iReporter listener interface. So if you explore, so I just gave a brief idea. Okay, so this is very brief code. Okay, if you explore what methods each object has, you can write many other details also. What are the parameters that are being passed to each test? Okay, and what is the execution time? So in our before and after report test listener, execution listener, suit listener, suppose suit listener has on start and on finish. On start, you can write a timestamp, and on finish you can write timestamp. Okay, you calculate the difference and tell how much time taken to run the suit. Okay, you can do many things using this listeners.